guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's vlog. Scaring me. As you guys can see in the title, I have been at the hospital. Don't freak out, it's nothing really serious, but it's something I've got to just rest up for a couple of days. So I'm going to tell you guys about it, like the full story. So, on, what was yesterday? Tuesday, the 26th of February 2019, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. And I looked at the clock and everything was fine. And a few seconds later, I couldn't move. Like, I felt as though my whole body was completely paralyzed. I could just feel the ends, like just the tips of my toes, and they were pins and needles, and I was like, what the heck? At first, I thought I was dreaming, like not even kidding. So I waited a couple minutes, and then I got my feelings back in everywhere, and my arms were in so much pain. So much pain. I could not move. This was about 4:35 now. I could not move. I could not breathe properly. My chest, every time I took a breath in, I felt as though my heart was being stabbed. So it was about, I waited another 20 minutes just because I thought, you know how sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, it'll pass, it'll pass. So I waited like 20 minutes. Are you listening to the story? Okay. So I waited 20 minutes, and then it got to 5 o'clock and nothing changed. My arms were in so much pain I couldn't move. My legs were sore, but they, you know how like, because I played 2 games of netball the previous night, you know how like your legs are just sore, like muscly, so it was just that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But my arms were in so much pain, I could not move them, I could hardly breathe, I was taking really short breaths, and I was really scared, so I just called out to Mum because I couldn't move, obviously. So I called out to Mum and just said, Mum, Mum, in my sleep, and she thought I was dreaming. I wasn't dreaming. And I was doing that for 5 minutes, and then Dad got up, he's like, what's wrong? And I was just crying, absolutely in tears, like I could taste my own tears. So everybody came in, I accidentally woke up my sister with my screaming and my crying. And Mum and Dad tried to move my arms, and I was just like, don't touch my arms. They were in so much pain. I had no idea what was going on. I thought I'd broken my arms or something. It honestly felt like that. It wasn't like the bone I felt like I broke. It was like someone had completely shredded the muscles and the veins and like everything out of my arms. So Mum called Healthline. It's like this agency that you can, not agency, it's like this company where you can call just in case you don't really need an ambulance. Are you good there? Okay. So Mum called Healthline, and I started talking to this really nice woman. Well, Mum did, because I could hardly get my words out because I was breathing like that's literally what it sounded like. And then I told her what was going on because I had to, because she needed to talk to me, and then I just said I couldn't move my arms were in so much pain, my chest felt like someone was ripping out my heart, and so I told her all of that, and she basically just said, right, I'm gonna put you through to an ambulance person, and I was sitting here like, oh my god, is this actually serious now? So we got the ambulance people on the phone, and they just basically said, don't move me, because if it's chest pains, it can actually be really serious. So I didn't move, and it took them like 20 minutes to get here. And then they came through, and they hooked up, oh sorry Miko, they hooked up, you know, the sticky things, and then it traces your heart rate and like your blood pressure and stuff. So they hooked that up, and my heart my heart rate was going from like 50 to 70 and then 70 to 60 and then 60 to 90. It was just really strange, and the ambulance people was like, I don't know what's going on, we need to take her to the hospital. And I was sitting here like, oh my god, am I dying? I wasn't dying, don't worry. And they also took my blood sugars, my sugar levels with the little prick thing. It actually really hurts because my pain tolerance is like really low. So everything I'm saying may not be like serious for you guys. It may not have been as hurtful if you guys were in my situation, but my pain tolerance is like the lowest of the low. So yeah, it was very painful for me. Anyway, the ambulance people, I had to pee from 4:30 and it was like 5:45 to 6 at this point. Or maybe it was 6:15. Might have been 6:15. Wasn't really concentrating on the time. And I really had to pee. So I was painfully had to get out of bed. I'd stayed in bed the whole time that everyone was like crowding around me and everything. And the ambulance people brought in the stretcher, and I took the longest pee in the history of pees. I was literally sitting there for like a full-on minute just gushing out with pee, and I was like, well, I had to go. Anyway, carrying on with the story, I literally felt like an old woman. Like my bones were so like brittle and like nothing was working properly. So I got on the stretcher, and that was terrifying because I don't like going in ambulances, especially if it's me that had to go in the ambulance because I'm sick. Yes, so I was still in a lot of pain. My arms, I was starting to get a little bit of feeling back in them because I was moving them. Obviously I can move them now. This one's probably the most sore at the moment, but I'll get back to that later. Carrying on with the story, we got in the ambulance. As you see this door here, there's like a hallway that goes right down there and down to my front door at my house. And my dog was in this room where I am. He was whining as he saw me going down in the stretcher. It was so sad. I actually started crying. I was like, buddy, go. And it was so sad. Hey, buddy. I felt so sad. So I got into the ambulance and I rang my best friend and told her what was going on, and basically they had to put one of the IV line needles in like right here. I'll try and like right, can't really see it. There is where the needle was. They put that in the ambulance because the man called Steve, that was his name, he was really lovely. Basically, I'm sitting on your legs, you're so annoying. That's a dog right there. He basically just said, you can either put the needle in now or you can put the needle in at the hospital. And I was like, just put it in now. Because I'm terrible with needles. I'm just terrible with pain. Don't like sharp things coming in my skin. Anyway, they put it in and they put some water in me because obviously I've been crying and I played 2 games of netball the previous night, so I didn't really have a lot of water in me. And then we got to the hospital. We waited about 5 minutes just at the registration waiting for me to get admitted to a ward. And so my ward was M3, and I got back hooked up to the heart tracer thing, and I had 9 on me. I'll actually go and get it right now. Okay, I'm back. So I had these little things. Pardon me. I just stuck them all together because I don't really know. And when I walk at the moment, I kind of lose my breath, but I'll get back to that once I finish the story. So I had 9 of these stuck to my body. I had 2 here, I had 3 on my left boob, I had 1 on my right boob, and then I had 2 underneath here, and then I had 1 on each hip. So they hooked me up to that, and then this really, really lovely nurse, it was a guy, he came over and he just, you know those nurses that just make you feel a lot better, like not physically a lot better, but like mentally, because they're like trying to cheer you up and stuff. I'm still trying to catch my breath, I'm sorry. He came around and he basically just said, they looked at the notes that the ambulance people wrote down, and they basically just said my heart, I've got a sinus rhythmic heart rate, which is very common in young teenagers or like young adults. And I was like, okay, that's not serious and that's fine. But I was still having really bad chest pains. When I got to the hospital, I had all feeling back in my left arm, but my right arm was very numb when I got to the hospital. So, and he basically just said, we're going to take some bloods. We're going to go and get some blood results, and then we'll get back to you. So, it was like 8 o'clock when we got to the hospital, and they took my bloods and everything, and then the doctor, because before you get your bloods and stuff back to you, you have to get like an assessment done on you from head to toe from a doctor. So the doctor came around. She was so cool, like not even kidding. She just made you feel so much better mentally, not physically obviously, but she just made you feel so much better. She just came out with these random sayings and it was hilarious. So she came around and she assessed me, and whenever you touch my chest it would really, really hurt. So she was a wee bit concerned about that. My arm was still numb. She just basically said that when you're in a lot of pain, sometimes your body reacts to the pain and it hurts or numbs like a different part of your body, and for me it was my right arm, so I couldn't do anything with my right arm. And she said I had to do a urine sample, so I went and did that and I gave it to her, and then lots of talking, sorry. And then my urine sample came back fine, my bloods results came back fine, and then I was still in a lot of pain, so they said, right, we're gonna get you a chest x-ray. So I went and got a chest x-ray and it came back as fine, but when I was doing it I had to like hug this, like the x-ray machine, so then I had to like press my boobs up against it and then just hug this thing. And then the guy told me to take a really deep breath, but because I was in a lot of pain in my chest, I couldn't like take a big inhale. So I did it as well as I could, and she came back, she basically just said, we didn't get a very good x-ray because you couldn't like inhale properly. And she said, that's totally fine though, like you're obviously in a lot of pain, you can't do that. And I was like, oops. She was like, that's not your fault, we know that you're in a lot of pain and it's not anything to worry about. She said, but from the x-ray they couldn't really see anything. So the end result was, her theory was, I've got, no, not her theory, her conclusion was that I have inflammation between my sternum, which is like the bone, and my rib cage, which is affecting my breathing and is like what's causing the pain. So that's what I ended up with. Oh my god, it was such a weird morning, and this was like, it was, by the time I got released from the hospital was 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish. So yeah, but they basically just told me what it was caused by. Wasn't from my sinus rhythmic heart rate, it was, it's like a virus thing that you can get. It's not contagious, but it's something that you need to take care of. So I wasn't allowed to go to school, obviously, back yesterday, and I wasn't allowed to go to school today, but I am going to school tomorrow, just so everybody knows. but she basically just said to take it really easy with like my breathing and the way I'm sitting and stuff. My arm's still like a wee bit tingly, so I'm using my left arm for everything. But yeah, that was my wee adventure for the day. It was actually really terrifying. But yeah, I am so much better today. So this all happened yesterday. I'm a lot better today. I had a really good sleep. Obviously I woke up at 4:30 yesterday and it was, pardon me, very early. So today I've just got to take it easy. I'm just going to do some homework. Hopefully I don't fall behind in school. I don't think I will. But my breathing is getting a lot better. I can still feel like the tightness in my throat and in my chest when I'm just normally breathing. When I yawn, that is very hard. I'm like, when I'm yawning, I'm like trying to do it in like short breaths. And yawning in short breaths is actually very hard. But when I sneeze, I think my heart's going to fly out of my mouth. It honestly feels like that, and it hurts a lot. So that is the story on why I was in hospital. I just want to thank everybody who messaged me yesterday and asked me how I was. I am doing fine. I've got medication. I've just got to drink lots of water because obviously I cried all my water out yesterday, so I was very dehydrated, and I should be back to normal in a week or so. So that was something that I wanted to share with you guys. I know some of you were very concerned, but I am okay. So yeah, basically I've just got to take it easy and just drink lots of water and keep up with my medication. But otherwise, other than that, I am doing fine. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. This video was not what I was expecting this week's video to be. But yeah. Thank you guys for listening to my very first story time with you guys. I know it wasn't a very good first story time, but hey, Mother Nature and the universe just doesn't agree with some of me. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for everybody that was concerned or asked me if I was alright yesterday. I am doing okay, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for all of your support, and yeah, just have a bloody fantastic week. See ya!